Do nice guys always finish last? Will the world ever be nice? Or will the world ever be nice to nice people? Let's talk about this in today's video. Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Human, Not an AI with Chetan Narang. Today's question is asked by Saurav, and it is a beautiful question. He asks me, so recently I've been having this plumbing issue at the place I stay. After 2 months and countless reminders, the issue is far from being resolved. And when I ask others what to do, the usual responses are, you're being too nice, you have to be tough with your landlord. Or nothing gets done unless you really start threatening people. I've seen this pattern before as well, and if one opens up any social site nowadays, it's common to see posts like nice people finish last. Seems like being bad or abusive is the way to get things done in the world. And therein lies my question. If the world seems to reward badness, and hence being bad is the only way to survive the problems of the world, how can this cycle ever be broken? Beautiful, isn't it? I think this is such a deep question. Thank you, Saurav, for asking this, by the way. How do we start? What I wanted to do today was, in fact, let's circle to your question, to the last part of your question, when you ask, how can this cycle ever be broken? I think you need to imagine once, what would it take for you to consider that the cycle is finally broken? Think about it for a second. I think the idea that has made you ask this question is an idea of having a utopian world. A utopian world where I think everyone is nice to everyone all the time. That is the extreme utopia. The idea of that extreme utopia has made you ask this question, that how can the cycle ever be broken? I think if you think deeply about it, you will understand that that is the kind of utopia that you're kind of imagining here. That the cycle will be finally considered broken when we have achieved that utopia. Now consider for a moment that that utopia has been broken. Let's say it's taken a few years from now, so we're not 7 billion anymore, maybe we're 10 billion people in the world. And the utopia has finally arrived. We are all nice all the time, and it's a very nice world. Can you guarantee that the very next person born on this planet, or the amongst the 10 billion people who are alive right now, in the very next moment they will still be nice? I think you can understand that that will not be the case. It's almost a hopeless utopia to imagine such a nice world, to imagine everyone being so nice all the time. And it's not far from you to consider that I'm sure you are not nice yourself all the time. If you are, it's something to be unpacked as well, because no one can be nice all the time, especially not with people they have control over. But we'll deal with that separately. But now that that is out of the way, I think I'm happy to tell you that no, in this manner of speaking, this cycle will never be broken. You will never be able to achieve that kind of a utopia where everyone is nice, or where everyone is acting nice with nice people. That does not happen. That will not happen. But now that that is out of the way, what do we do? What do we do with regards to the specific problem that you're mentioning here? See, I want to go one level deeper still. I think the main trouble with your question is the fact that you're expecting the world to exhibit a certain kind of certainty that doesn't really exist. What I mean is, there is an expectation of a certainty, in the sense that everyone should be nice, or everyone should be nice at least when others are being nice to them. That is one level of certainty that you expect the world to exhibit. And the other level of certainty that you're sort of almost considering to be true in this question is the certainty of the world being bad, of people being bad, and considering that threatening people or being bad or being abusive to people is the only way to get things done in the world. That is also a level of certainty that is almost a dystopia that does not exist. These are two extreme ends of the pendulum, which are both, again, we keep circling between these extreme ends, and that is the way it's with almost everyone. especially these days where we are, you know, thrown out so much content on social media and throughout the internet, that whatever our opinions are about the world, they get amplified and magnified a million times. And before we know it, our extreme opinions, which maybe a good few number of years ago were only our extreme opinions, they become truths in our lives. They start to cement themselves as truths because of such a huge amount of confirmation bias that keeps hitting us. Which is what I want to tell you, in the sense of you trying to enforce a certainty on the world that does not exist. That is what I consider to be the chief trouble with this entire question. So, no, the world will not ever exhibit this kind of utopian certainty, and neither does the world exhibit this kind of dystopian certainty that you have to be abusive or you have to threaten people to get anything done, everything done for that matter. So, now that that is out of the way too, what should you do with regards to your particular problem? I think these friends that you've asked as to how to get something done with your landlord, what they're trying to suggest you is not really that you have to threaten people. I don't think they have the right vocabulary to be guiding you correctly. But I think what they mean, deep down when they advise you, is that you have to be maybe stern with your landlord. And that is fine, you know. You have to be stern with certain people at certain points of time. That is needed. I mean, what other example can you find from your everyday life? Maybe some people are not driven enough to do something that you want them to do, and if it is their job to do it, and if it is your job to get it done from them, you have to be maybe at times be stern with them, and that's fine. But be stern then and there and be done with the story. Do not let that build onto the narrative that this is how everything gets done with everyone all the time throughout the world. That is a very extreme opinion. It's an extreme opinion that somehow people are very comfortable with these days. But I think therein lies the catch of how our minds work these days. We are very attracted to the extremities of these different modes of thinking, and therefore it's almost we want the world to be black and white, while it's always a spectrum, right? With regards to your particular situation, I think I'll circle back. Number one would be drop the utopian idea. Drop the utopian idea of the world ever being completely nice, especially nice to nice people. That will never happen. You need to drop the utopian idea. The second thing would be, with regards to your particular problem, I think yes, maybe you have to be a little stern with your landlord. Or if you want to go one level deeper, maybe you want to be a little more tactful with your landlord. You know, it's almost like saying that people don't really care about your problems, but they do care about their own problems. So maybe be a little more tactful with him or her, in the sense of striking up a conversation with them about things that matter to them, and do not even bring up your problem. Do not even bring up something that you are supposedly bothering them with. And maybe after you've been their audience for some time, then try to slip in your point. Maybe that helps. I would also suggest, in fact, you should read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, a book that I reviewed just a week or so back on my YouTube channel. That book definitely gives you a lot of different tactics of how to influence people, how to get things done from people, and not in a manner of becoming a goody two shoes, not in a manner of becoming nice in the sense of how you mentioned it to be a utopian nice. You don't have to do that. But there are tactical ways on how to deal with people, how to deal with such situations. So I would advise you to do that. And very importantly, I would also advise you to drop the narrative that gets built out of that entire situation. So if you need to be stern with your landlord, if you need to be tactful with your landlord, whatever you need to do it and be done with it. Drop the narrative that leads you to thinking that the entire world is in this manner. I don't want you to build such certain narratives of the world, because like that, I think, Greek philosopher or Egyptian philosopher Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and it's not the same man." And that is true. That is true, especially in situations where we enforce certainty on the world. And remember that we definitely enforce our certainties on the world. It's true that we see the world as we are, not as the world is. And therefore, if you start to believe in this idea of the world is all bad, or people are all bad, or people only do things when you abuse them or you threaten them, etc., it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, in the sense that that will be the only way you get things done from people. And therefore, if you have to get anything done from them, before even that person's actions commanding you to do these things in this manner, you would already have threatened them or abused them or be stern with them, while it was not even needed. And you will not understand this. You will, if you're not self-aware enough, you will not understand this. And therein is the self-fulfilling prophecy. It will appear to you that yes, I'm right, in the sense that I have to always abuse people or threaten people to get anything done from them. And that's it. That's all I would tell you. And one more thing that I would tell you is that your friends who suggested you this, that you're being too nice, you have to be tough with your landlord, nothing gets done unless you start threatening people, etc., recommend them my channel. Recommend them to the Unlearning Playground, because I think they have a lot to unlearn too. That's it. That's all I would say. For everyone else, if you have any such questions that you think I can help out with, let me know on my Ask a Human Not an AI page on my website www.chetanarang.org. And that's it. I'll see you in the playground the next time. Until next time, peace out.